Vernon Township Board of Education capstone celebration meeting to order. Ms. Linsky, could we please have a roll call of the board members? Present.
Present. It's new.
Could we please stand for a Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. At this point, the Vernon Township High School Meister Singers will be performing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave,
Thank you. Ms. Linsky, could we please have a reading of the public meeting notice?
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with provisions of the Act, Vernon Township Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published, and adequate notice has been provided, and notice of this meeting has been properly posted in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Vernon Township Board of Education, I want to thank all of you for joining us here this evening. After a year of masks and Zoom calls, of toilet paper shortages and long overdue haircuts, of hand sanitizers and vaccines, and yes, of loss and of heartbreak, we are back in our schools once again this evening, and we gather here tonight for our capstone celebration to celebrate each of you. Each of you is an integral member of our school community. You are truly the heart of every single thing that we do here in the Vernon Township School District. Tonight is our opportunity as a board to recognize those of you who have dedicated your entire lives to education, to public service, and to our community. As I look out into this audience and see lifelong educators and exemplary students in person and back at our schools once more, you can feel that something is right again in the world. The great Maya Angelou was known to say, "Be a rainbow in someone else's clouds." There have been a lot of clouds this past year, but all the while, you have been the rainbow peeking through. And now, the sun is beginning to shine bright once more. All of you being recognized this evening represent the very best of Vernon, I know that I speak for the entire Vernon Township Board of Education when I say that from the bottom of our hearts, you inspire us every single day. You are the rainbow in the clouds for your students, and we truly thank you for joining us for the capstone celebration of the 2020-2021 school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Annunziata. Welcome to one and all. Thank you to all in attendance here for your dedication to the faculty, students, and staff that we are honoring this evening. Thank you to the board and the administrations of each of our schools, and to Jim Conti and his team for the setup this evening. You know, I once knew an old man who, while standing at the edge of his property, leaning on a fence, looked across and saw a young couple that were about to buy his neighbor's house. The young couple came over to the old man who was standing by the fence and said, "What's this neighborhood like? How are the schools? What's this town like?" The wise man paused, said, "Well, what's it like where you're from?" And they said, "Well, it's terrible. Schools are bad, community's bad, people fight all the time." He said, "It's the same here." And off they went because they didn't want to buy the house. The next day, a young couple came in, was looking at the house, and they came over and saw the old man standing in the same place at the same time. And they said to him, "What's the town like? What's the schools like? How are things? Are the neighbors good?" He paused, he looked at them, and said, "How is it by you?" They said, "Oh, well, it's terrific. The schools are good. Our neighbors are really great. We like the town. It's just that our house is too small." He said, "You'll find the same here." Tonight, we are here to see the very best in our educational community. This is a conscious choice. And while there are some who will accuse us of being Panglossian, we choose to borrow a phrase from Dua Lipa. We choose to levitate. My peeps behind me are thinking, what is he going with this? And you will see tonight that we won't have to look far. Look around you. Wonderful educators, as Justin just pointed out. As a matter of fact, I don't have to look too far because every day I work with our superintendent, Ms. Karen Davino, who has led us through this pandemic. Someone who is guaranteed that the school doors were open an amazing 166 of the 184 school days this year. Someone who cares deeply for the students and teachers and is wise enough to know that there are great things all around us and they need to be celebrated. Indeed, tonight, as the sun comes out, this whole night was her vision, her idea, and her follow-through. So please join me in acknowledging our superintendent, Ms. Karen Davino. Thank you. Mr. Annunziata, are you ready?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you walked in this evening, on that table over there, there are plaques representing people who have been nominated into the Vernon Hall of Fame. It is a situation where we had the Hall of Fame for years under Mr. Masserino, and then for a while there, we let the esteemed institution fall by the wayside, and we brought it back in the last couple of years. And tonight, we're going to try to honor two people, one for the 2020 school year and the other for the 2021 school year. Both of them are exemplary educators, and I am honored to be able to speak on their behalf. The Hall of Fame inductee for the 2020 school year is Mr. Angelo Romano. There are that's it. Your hands are going to be tired by the end of the night. There's some great people here. There are very few teachers or supervisors who've had more of an impact on the Vernon Township School District and the Vernon Township High School in particular than Mr. Angelo Romano. Mr. Romano came to the high school in the fall of 1983 after creating a successful business and DECA program in Ramsey. While some would argue he was recruited, and he was, the truth of the matter is he had moved his family to Lake Conway in Vernon and was itching to get some programs started in Vernon High School. And start them he did. He immediately invigorated the dormant DECA program and made it a powerhouse organization in our high school. He taught marketing and as a teacher was awarded Teacher of the Month and later Teacher of the Year for Vernon Township High School. As a marketing teacher, he was voted Marketing Regional Teacher of the Year and New Jersey Marketing Teacher of the Year. He was also given the honor of Sussex County Inspiring Teacher Award for all the work he did with his students. This was a nomination from his students, and it was his students who benefited from his vibrant class. In Mr. Romano's class, there was an absolute must that you are engaged, and he wanted to keep his ideas and the program going, particularly when it came to DECA and all of the activities after school. With the Vernon DECA organization, he not only grew it in size, but facilitated a program that became a state juggernaut. The awards won by students included the coveted state and national titles in various competitive areas. Through his involvement with marketing state program and the marketing educational regional program, he was voted Teacher of the Year and Marketing Education State Teacher of the Year. As a leader in DECA, a role he still holds, Mr. Romano was not only awarded the DECA Outstanding Service Award, but he was honored late in his career with the National DECA Outstanding Service Award. And finally, as if this wasn't enough, Ange, he was inducted into the National DECA Hall of Fame. In a second act of Mr. Romano's career, he was a district supervisor of practical arts, which included business, consumer science, and industrial technology programs district-wide. He also oversaw the cooperative education program as the work-study coordinator and created some of the best social events for our students, including fashion shows, Christmas parties for the homeless, donkey basketball, which I still don't know how we got away with that, North Jersey DECA volleyball competition, end-of-the-year recognition dinners, multimedia education assemblies, Keith Hawkins, for all the children here who know Keith Hawkins, that's Mr. Romano, and the Disney and Universal education field trips. Finally, Mr. Romano was also the unofficial social director for the district, creating faculty trips such as the Spirit of New Jersey dinner cruise. And the boat actually had an accident that night. The Little Italy Festival, South Street Seaport, Carolyn's Comedy Club, Hudson River Paddle Boat Cruise, Lighthouse Dinner Extravaganza. He was the organizer of the end-of-the-year faculty parties and retirement dinners. He was our community organizer. In many ways, Mr. Romano represented the can-do spirit of a successful school district. Nothing was too hard, too time-consuming, or too complicated to do. And by making magic happen, both in and out of the classroom every day, from the first day in September of 1983 until his last day in June of 2011, this district got the best that Mr. Romano could offer. And we are a far, far better district for all that you put in place and all that has come from the seeds you planted. It is for these reasons, and because there's no one like you, that you are elected into the Vernon District Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Angela Romano. Say a word.
I'd like to say thank you on behalf of the committee, particularly Dr. McKay, who is a colleague and a lifelong friend. This is certainly an honor and a privilege. I really cherish this, and thank you.
Another one. Tonight we're celebrating 2 years of awards and important events that we have missed because of the pandemic. And so I would like to introduce the next Hall of Fame inductee for the 2021 school year, Mr. William Carlisle. While most of us were safely ensconced in our childhood or in college in 1968 and 1969, Mr. Carlisle, as an 18-year-old, was serving in Vietnam as a medical helicopter pilot who saw significant action during the war. And therefore, after transitioning back to civilian life, even though he was a lifelong reservist and continued to fly helicopters in this role, he didn't graduate from SUNY New Paltz until he was 29 years old. A non-traditional route, but one that we would all come to cherish. He taught for a year in Monroe, and the next year, 1980, joined the Vernon High School staff in the very infancy of this high school's life. To simply state that Mr. Carlisle was an awesome teacher is to miss the fact that he was one of the early practitioners of experiential learning. When he first arrived in Vernon, he redesigned the earth science curriculum and made it hands-on. His classrooms were exploratory spaces where children were tasked with finding a way, not told a way, to discover on their own. He was the first teacher in Vernon history to create a weather station that worked and gave daily reports to students through the computer. Indeed, Bill was an early advocate for the computer use in the classroom, and his lab places were places of exploration. Bill created a course called Geology of Vernon, and in the evening he was a professor at Orange County Community College on the geology of Hudson Valley. In the classroom, he was the first among many to adopt the computer, and in 1999 connected with AT&T Learning Networks and used something new through the modem connection. It was called the internet. And in those early days, he connected with students, with kids across the country and Canada in a combined science project, and was later chosen to head the project and work with students in Rome, Bermuda, Hawaii, and Canada. Bill Carlisle was as creative as he was scientific. Indeed, he could have easily been a graphic designer, an engineer teacher, even photography or a broadcast teacher. He understood very early in his career the power of the visual and instilled this in his students. Indeed, the showcases that are on display outside our gymnasium were built by Bill. He was an early advocate for taping lessons and using video to enhance lessons. He was also a thoughtful listener who allowed students to create and think and gave them space to do it, offering gentle guidance along the way. He inspired them to reach for the stars, not just because he thought they had it in them, but because he was fascinated by NASA and anything to do with space, and brought that into their lessons on a continual basis. To that end, in 1988, he was chosen by NASA to spend 2 weeks at the Goddard Space Flight Center, and upon his return, created a class called Society and Technology that allowed for units on aviation and space for our students. In 1994 through 2000, our district went through a major transitional period with huge enrollment gains and real crowding of some of our buildings. There was unrest as many teachers were on carts in crowded hallways. This didn't deter Mr. Carlisle. He created the honors level earth science program, set up a weather station, then with a budding company called AccuWeather. However, it was also at that time that he was voted in as the VTEA vice president and then served 2 terms as the VTEA president, and together with Ms. Gebhardt, brought calm to the district. 4 years of incredibly steady helmsmanship is what Bill brought to this district. He was, in many ways, the calm, collective leader that was needed at the time. His lasting legacy is rewriting of the VTEA contract, which was measured, refined, and studious. He worked hand in glove with Dr. Podorf and Mr. Masserino, both Hall of Fame members, to bring about real change. It was a fruitful time for the union that became professional and strong under his leadership. Mr. Carlisle retired in 2007 after 27 years of teaching and leadership in Vernon, but not before a special day. On that special day, he took the entire 9th grade Earth Science class sailing on the Hudson River in a full sail vessel right past West Point Military Academy. Indeed, Bill, this was a fitting end to a career that combined your loves. First, your students, then nature, then your military service, all in an incredible day of experiential learning, which you knew from the start of your career was the most important part of a child's education. For your time as VTEA president and teacher extraordinaire has earned you, Bill, the absolute respect of your colleagues, and now election into the Vernon Township Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. William Carlisle.
I was quite humbled at the notice of this award, and I'm very, very honored to have been selected for it. An entire career sits in this building. This building looks cold from over here, but it's warm. It has always been welcoming. The education here is above the best. The support to the teachers in the classroom is among the best. I'm very proud to have been here my entire career. And I think nothing but fond memories of all the students, the faculty, and the friends that I gained along the way. Go Vernon. Thank you.
I'd like to call forward Miss Kelly Mitchell, Board Member Vice President. Ms. Mitchell and I are here to honor the 1920 Teachers of the Year. So I would like to call first the Teacher of the Year from 1920 for the high school, Miss Lindsay McAloney. This fine educator has played a significant role in improving the culture and climate of the high school during her tenure. She is truly a leader whose enthusiasm enriches the lives of her students and her colleagues on a daily basis. And if you've ever seen one of our theater productions, you know exactly what her principal was talking about. Congratulations, Ms. McAloney. The Glen Meadow Teacher of the Year from 1920 was Miss Renee Kepfinger. Renee couldn't join us this evening, but I wanted to say a few words about Renee because she's a very dedicated teacher who spends her entire life working with her students. Ms. Kepfinger is an exceptionally skilled and dedicated professional who inspires her students to learn, demonstrates leadership and innovation, and has the respect of parents, administrators, and colleagues. And if you've ever been in Renee's classroom, you know that her care for her children, the least among us, has been spectacular. So Renee, congratulations. Last year's Teacher of the Year from Lounsbury Hollow is Gerard Palastro. Jerry's here. Good. Mr. Palastro is well respected by his colleagues, peers, students, and parents, as well as by the building principal who wrote this at Lounsbury Hollow and other district administrators. Mr. Palastro continues to excel as a highly enthusiastic, motivated teacher for students and learning challenges. Sir, when I walk by your classroom and I see the energy that you put into your students and how much they love and adore you, that's what teaching is all about. Congratulations. How are we doing, Miss Mitchell? Good. Miss Mitchell likes our balloons, so we're all set to go. The Teacher of the Year from Rolling Hills last year is Miss Laura Scovell. Where is she? Good. Miss Scovell raises the bar for the level of student achievement in her classroom and has the unique ability of getting students motivated, engaged, and excited about learning. Her high expectations for student growth and achievement, along with her caring demeanor, are demonstrated on a consistent basis. And I do have to say this, Lounsbury could not run without Laura Scovell. Thank you very much for all that you do, Miss Scovell. The Teacher of the Year from Cedar Mountain Primary School last year is Miss Jessica Giagrandi. Jess is a shining star who creates a culture of positivity and is a role model for other educators. Her professional knowledge, dedication, kindness, and collaborative efforts and ability to reach all of her students are characteristics that Miss Giagrandi models on a daily basis. Jess, congratulations and thank you for all you do. Last year, as you know, we had the preschool in Walnut Ridge, and the person who was nominated as Teacher of the Year in Walnut Ridge was Ms. Leslie Lombardi. Ms. Lombardi is a passionate and dedicated educator who is fully invested in perpetuating a lifelong love of learning in all of her pre-K students. And let me say publicly for the first time, welcome back to Walnut Ridge. Congratulations. Ms. Mitchell and I would like to now honor the educational service professionals from 2019 and 2020. From the high school, and of course these folks are the people that help us run our district, help our children every day. They are a very integral part of everything that we do in this district. The first educational support person is from the high school, Jen Sherrill. Considering the day that Jen has had, grades are due, it's 3 o'clock, Jen was working. Jen Sherrill is a resourceful, creative, and solution-oriented professional who has played a major role in the implementation of the Genesis software program. She possesses an excellent capacity to elicit information from all technical experts and then translate that information into a format that can be understood by all. And Jen, on a personal note, I want to thank you for the other night, the senior awards. The amount of work that you do in order to make that possible is amazing. So thank you for all that you do. Nice to do it in person, right? Glen Meadow Middle School. Educational Support Person of the Year is Miss Terry Yost, our librarian. Miss Yost is an outstanding instructional practitioner. She lives her life thinking constantly of the connections of books to real-life learning. Her planning and efforts as a librarian underpins how to bring these concepts to a new and inspirational way to the classroom. And if you've been in Miss Yost's library, you know exactly what we're talking about. It is a love of learning, a love of books, and a love of children that bring children into your library at all times. Terry, thank you for all you do. Lounsbury Hollow support person, Miss Denise Hertline. Ms. Hertline is a highly collaborative speech and language therapist who works closely with numerous teachers at Lounsbury Hollow School to ensure her students make progress in improving on articulation, understanding of content, form, and the use of language. Ms. Hertline, thank you for all you do for our students. Rolling Hills Primary School nominated Jennifer Lafferty. Jen's not with us? Possibly not. Miss Lafferty understands the importance of building trusting relationships with students. She consistently displays non-judgmental listening skills and establishes a warm and caring environment necessary for all students to feel safe in expressing their concerns as they continue to experience academic growth during the primary school experience. Congratulations to Jen. The educational specialist nominated from Cedar Mountain is Miss Ingrid Green. In her first 2 years as school counselor in Cedar Mountain, Ms. Green jumped right into her role, making herself available for students, faculty, staff, and the district. Ms. Green's extensive knowledge base and educational experience enable her to quickly develop a successful plan of action. And may I say, after having worked with you, Ingrid, I truly appreciate your intellectual elan as well. Thank you very much for being part of our district. Walnut Ridge, Erica Padalita. Ms. Padalita couldn't be with us tonight, but I wanted to say that Ms. Padalita's tremendous professional knowledge, educational experience, and fierce advocacy for the students in her charge solidify her place as one of our most talented child study team members. Thank you very much. I'd like to call Mr. Annunziata up, our board president. Justin, we're going to do the Governor Teachers of the Year for 2020-2021. First one is from the high school, Miss Ellie Upperfelge. Miss Uff is an outstanding teacher who has taught not only in the middle school level, but also now at the high school. Her dedication to the craft of teaching history is unparalleled, as are the hours that she spends in preparation for her lessons every day. In class, she is energetic, excited, motivational. Her students love her and the project-based education that she offers them every day. Her ability to motivate comes from a true love of children and the learning process. It also comes from the fact that Ms. Upperfelge is a lifelong learner herself. A good teacher motivates. A great teacher motivates students to learn difficult material and truly care about the subject matter. And Miss Uff, you have a great teacher. Last year when we were honoring the Teachers of the Year and the educational specialists, we were doing it over Zoom and we had slides. It's much better in person. And for Glen Meadow, the Teacher of the Year is Miss Nancy Grimaldi. Ladies and gentlemen, Nancy is all heart. As a teacher and as a person, she cares about every person she comes in contact with, whether it's a child, a teacher, an office worker, a custodian. She has time for them all, which usually means Nancy's the last to leave the building. For those of you that know our art, you're laughing because we've all had long conversations with Nancy in which we found out amazing things that we didn't know. Nancy's dedication to her students is absolute and enduring, and many times you'll hear her students remember her fondly. The energy in the classroom, the non-traditional way Ms. Grimaldi runs her class. As a language arts instructor, she is rewarded the creative as she teaches her students to write and to appreciate literature. In many real ways, her appreciation for the arts is why her children love to write and read as they do. The essential narrative, Nancy, of your career has been caring for others more than yourself. Your children in the classroom year after year have learned this from a practitioner of kindness. Congratulations. We'll talk later. Okay. Lounsbury Hollow's Teacher of the Year, our youngest Teacher of the Year, is Stephanie Leitner. Stephanie is a wonderful young teacher whose ability and work ethic have so impressed her colleagues that she's become Vernon Teacher of the Year very early in her career. Her ability to not only work with special needs students, but to also become the perfect co-teacher in any in-class support classroom has made her the go-to person for any difficult class. That's never easy. How does she handle these classes? With preparation, planning, and hard work. In science and math classroom and in meetings with all the fifth grade teachers, she's seen as the go-to person for classroom motivational tools. It is hard to overstate, Steph, the importance that this relatively new experience that you are having on the building, how important that is. In grade level meetings, content meetings, and common playing times, Stephanie is the one with the ideas to improve not only instruction, but student engagement. It's no accident of fortune, but instead a direct result of incredible work ethic and a true love for the field of education. Stephanie, congratulations. Rolling Hills Teacher of the Year is Miss Kim Fishman. Miss Fishman is an outstanding professional elementary teacher. Her organization, her love of students, her joy that she brings into their lives every day is the hallmark of her greatness. In the classroom, Miss Fishman is organized, enthusiastic, cheerful, and her students' responses show that their engagement is a natural outgrowth of a teacher's personality. It is a wonderful classroom to visit. Ms. Fishman makes sure there is constant contact with parents as well as students, and she's become a beacon for other teachers in this COVID era. Your principal has made sure that every time there's a new student teacher in the building, that he or she is either assigned to Ms. Fishman, good for you, or Ms. Fishman plays a role in that person's professional experience. Kim, you are the touchstone for our younger professionals, and the respect accorded to you is absolute. You are highly worthy of this recognition. Cedar Mountain's Teacher of the Year is Gwen Bishkay. In Miss Bishkay, you have a seasoned professional who gives her all every day to our preschool population. Her efforts include working hand in glove with our parents who love the attention she gives to her students and to their families. Miss Bishkay has taught in various early grade levels and understands the vertical arc of child's education, and therefore uniquely qualified to speak with parents about benchmark assessments on children's growth and what a parent can do or expect in the coming years. Our parents find this very comforting. Ms. Bishkay is a leader among her peers and is also someone who helps greatly during planning meetings to make sure that everything that is needed for a lesson or a project is thought of and done. Your organizational skills make you very, very popular with your colleagues and very much appreciated. Kim Bishkay, Teacher of the Year. Educational Service Professionals of the Year, Mr. Nunziata, for 2020-2021. The first person we're going to honor is Cassandra Aristasabal. Cassandra couldn't be with us tonight, but I wanted you to hear this statement. She said this: When I first entered this field, my supervisor told me the best thing that you can do for your students is to be the person you needed when you were younger. She says, I took that advice to heart, and it's at the forefront of my mind every day when I enter the building. Her principal said this: Ms. Aristizabal goes above and beyond her duties as a school psychologist to serve both students and teachers in Vernon High School. She is always ready, available to counsel and remediate issues for our students, our families, and their staff members. Her dedication to the mental health and academic success of her students is inspiring, and we are honored to work with her each day. Cassandra Aristizabal. The Glen Meadow Middle School nominated Kate Panfili as their Teacher of the Year. Kate called. She couldn't be with us, but here's what she said. After participating as a member of the IEP team as every type of team member except that of the most important participant, the student, I realized something. Kindness is nice. Advocacy is required. Inclusion is non-negotiable. Silence cannot be tolerated. I, like most in my position, will never know bone deep what it feels like to be in the throes of an extreme behavioral meltdown, nor the frustration of words scurrying across a paper as I try to skewer them with my eyes repeatedly. But I do know that I can help. I've been given the opportunity to speak not in words but in actions, building lifelong strategies alongside my students and their families that will assist them now and throughout their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, Kate Panfili. Lounsbury Hollow has nominated Miss Lauren Januszewski. I know she's here. There she is. Lauren, another young, outstanding star. Lauren is a school social worker who exhibits positive professional qualities in abundance, including her attention to detail, her polite persistence, her respect for her fellow colleagues, and a comprehensive understanding of all students she serves, and the expertise as an invaluable case manager of Lounsbury Hollow's child study team. We are told, young lady, you consistently serve as a school social work and case manager for the child study team in a manner that demonstrates an overall understanding of a child's development and welfare, and therefore you are highly respected for the job that you do every day. Lauren Januszewski. Rolling Hills Primary School has nominated Ashley Bellis. Where's Ash? Ashley said this: I enjoy the opportunity to work one-on-one with students and to be able to build their trust and establish a relationship with them. I love teaching. The students and their emotional regulation as well as social skills need help through counseling. Seeing the growth that my students make throughout the year is one of the most rewarding parts of my job. Being able to share with a parent their child's success at a meeting is what makes me love my job even more. Finally, from Cedar Mountain, Kim Gibson. There she is. Kim, I love what you wrote. Kim wrote, the blessings of this career are manifested in numerous ways. It may be to assist a child without the ability to communicate to produce his or her first sounds, words, sentences, or helping a child who has difficulty understanding language to improve comprehension in order to more effectively communicate with others in his or her world. For others, it may be to develop clarity of speech by improving articulation of sounds in order to be better understood when communicating with others, or improving fluency of speech to those who struggle with stuttering. For those in which verbal communication was not possible or limited, it has been teaching alternative methods of communication with the use of pictures, technology, or an introduction to some sign language. Developing the power and gift of communication in the life of a child is what drew me into this profession, and it is this that I have enjoyed doing and continue to do every day. Ladies and gentlemen, Kim Gibson. At this time, I would like to introduce the Meister Singers, who are going to do a musical selection for us. They're somewhere here. Here they are. Great.
Hello, everyone. This is some members of the Vernon Township High School Meister Singers. I'm Kevin Boehm, and we have a couple of songs that we sang in our outdoor spring concert that we'd like to share with you. There are a couple a cappella arrangements of some popular songs. I think you'll recognize them, and I think they embody a lot of what we're going through. We're finally coming out of this thing. We're finally in a good place, and these are two happy songs to bring us into that.
Build me up, don't break my heart. 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 My heart.
Why do you build me up,
don't
buttercup
break my heart.
baby, just to let me down,
Don't
mess me
break my
around,
heart.
and then worst of all,
Me up, don't
never
break
call
my heart.
baby when you say you will.
Me up, don't break my heart. I need you more than anyone, darling. You know that I have from the start. So build me up, buttercup. Don't break my heart. I'll be overacting. You tell me time and again, but you're late.
And I
wait around and then
but
I went to the door. I can't take anymore. It's not you.
big
You
surprise.
let me down again. Hey, hey, hey.
Baby, baby, try to find
Hey, hey, hey.
little time and only
Hey, hey, hey.
I'll be home.
I'll be beside the phone waiting for you to call. You never call. It begs the question why.
Why do you build me up,
Don't break
buttercup
my heart.
baby, just to let me down,
Me up. Don't
mess
break
me
my heart.
around, and then worst of all,
Me up.
you
Don't
never
break
call
my heart.
baby when you say you will.
Me up. Don't
I love
break
you
my
still,
heart.
I need you.
I need you more than anyone, darling. You know that I have from the start. So build me up, buttercup. Don't break my heart. To you I'm a toy, but I could be the boy you adore.
Maybe
If
more,
you just let me know.
but I
Oh,
love
you're true, I'm attracted to you all the more.
But what for?
Why do I need this song? Hey, hey, hey.
Baby, baby, try to find
Hey, hey, hey.
little time and I'll make it
Hey, hey, hey.
I'll be home.
I'll be beside the phone waiting for you to call. You never call. It begs the question why.
Why do you build me up,
Me up. Don't break
buttercup
my heart.
baby, just to
Build
let me down,
me up. Don't
mess
break
me
my heart.
around, and then worst of all,
me up.
you
Don't
never
break
call
my heart.
baby when you
Build
say you will.
me up. Don't break my heart. I need you more than anyone, darling. You know that I have from the start. So build me up, buttercup. Don't break my heart. Don't build me up. Don't let me down, my buttercup.
Facing out a little more, even if we're not. All right. Yes. Good. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ba-ba-da-da, sun, 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 here it comes. Ba-ba-da-do-well, yep, ba-da-da, sun, 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 here it comes. Ba-ba-ba-da.
Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like like years since it's been here. Oh, here comes the sun, here comes the sun, here comes the sun. And I say, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. Little darling, the smiles returning to their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Oh, here comes the sun, here comes the sun, here comes the sun. And I say, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. Ba-ba-da-da, sun, 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 here it comes. Ba-ba-da-da-well, yap-ba-da-da, sun, 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 here it comes. Ba-ba-ba-da. Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Oh, here comes the sun, here comes the sun, here comes the sun. And I say, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. Ba-ba-da-da, sun, 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 here it comes. Ba-ba-da-da-well, yap-ba-da-da, sun, 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 here it comes the sun. Here it comes the sun. Here comes the sun, sun, sun. Here comes the sun.
Thank you, Mr. Bohm and the Meister Singers. That was outstanding. Mr. Nunziata, would you please join me as we recognize the retirees from last year? As you look over that table, there's Mrs. Gagliostro and Mrs. Smith. They've done a yeoman amount of work in preparation for that. Thank you, ladies. Our first retiree from last year is Joanne Banky. Joanne Banky was the spark plug that made the Pistons of Lounsbury run. Joanne was a force for good in all of her students' lives, and she energized them in class, on the playground, and as they arrived and when they left. There was not one thing that could get her down, and she brought it every day for her students. Our next retiree is Lynn Barone. Lynn Barone, in her quiet way, has touched the hearts of thousands of students. By her smile, her dedication, her profession, she has set the foundation for her students to be successful as they continue to enjoy their lives. Lynn, please enjoy your retirement. Our next is Jane Buchholz. Jane is an amazing teacher and a role model and prides herself on not only teaching content, but accountability, respect, and dedication. Her students thrive on Jane's structure and routine, and she showed that you can make a difference in a student's life day to day with keeping them together and organized and academic. Steve Brzezinskis. Steve was a very popular teacher, and it was not only his approach to students, but also his flexibility. Steve could teach anything because his goal was to have all of his students engaged. He is someone who cared for others and the community at large, and of course he was the one that was always throwing the blood bank and being responsible there at Glen Meadow. He was a valued employee, and we think the world of him and hope he is well. Chris Bross. Chris started her career at Vernon and the Walnut Ridge teaching kindergarten. She then taught first grade for 3 years and second grade for 5 years, and then back to kindergarten. Chris Bross did us a lot of favors last year as we were working out our retirements. So as Chris began her retirement, we wish her the very best. Linda Dolan. Is Linda here? No. After 18 years, 15 at Lounsbury and 3 at the high school, she's retiring with mixed emotions, especially with the way it all ended in March. She's worked with so many amazing teachers and fellow aides, administration, and staff. But what Linda says is she will miss the students the most. Denise Doherty. Denise is here. Where's Denise? Come on up, Denise. Over Denise's 32 and a half years of teaching, she was awarded the Governor Teacher of the Year Award. And over 3 years, she's taught in art, the award 3 times. And over those years, she has taught in art rooms, classrooms, trailers, and from carts. Due to her flexibility, knowledge of her subject material, and her passion for art, she brought out the creativity and inspired over 12,000 students. Denise, thank you for all that you do for us. Yep. Mr. Steve Grentis. Steve Grentis is one of truly special teachers with a unique individual of the strongest character that I have ever had the pleasure of working with, said his principal. He was professional and dynamic. Steve was an excellent role model for his students, and the drive and passion and expertise and professionalism in the classroom demonstrated by Mr. Grentis throughout the years made him a star. Gail Del Grasso. Is Gail here? Gail is a wonderful teacher. For those of you that have worked with Gail, she was excellent, and oftentimes with the students in her class felt that she was the most important thing in their lives because she was. Denise DeSalvia. Is Denise? Yes, Denise is here. Denise, congratulations on your retirement. In Denise, you have someone who dedicated her entire life to us. Denise, you have been an excellent paraprofessional and someone that everyone looked to. Everyone loved when they had you working with their students. So we truly appreciate all that you've done for our district. Denise just said something that I've heard before from retirees. She said, I miss it. We miss you. Chris Gunstra. There she is. Quiet yet powerful person and aide for years in the preschool disabled classroom. She's helped the youngest learners go from not being able to speak to attend to instruction or knowing concepts to speaking in full sentences and having conversations. Children completing full school days independently, knowing colors, shapes, and letters. Chris was an integral part of the development of all the children she has in class. Need someone to work on behaviors? Chris is your gal. She was firm yet compassionate with all of her students and somehow was able to get through to the toughest children. She will always be remembered as G, and we will miss her tremendously. Chris, congratulations. G. Miss Evelyn Elaw. Miss Evelyn worked for many years helping some of our youngest learners in the pre-K and kindergarten grow and bloom. She is patient, sticking with young learners as long as needed. Conscientious, always arriving at school with ample time to get the lay of the land. Evelyn soothes and calms nervous children with her beautiful singing voice. She checks in with children during the day, making sure they are comfortable and ready to learn. Miss Elaw is sure to report to teachers all important information, and she greets the students every day. Lori Harboy. Lori said this, I have worked in the Vernon school system for over 17 years. I have enjoyed working with the children ranging from preschool to high school. The kids and the teachers were very happy to have my help. It was one of the best jobs I've ever had, and I will miss you all. Thank you. Lori Harboy. Not here. Mary Jo Jablonski from the high school. Mary Jo, or MJ, has been the backbone of the science department. With Miss Jablonski, you knew exactly what you were getting. Those of you that know her know what I'm talking about. She doesn't play games, she tells it like it is. Throughout her career, she taught her students far more than biology. For example, she told them to be bold, never be embarrassed, laugh at life, and that passwords were important. Ms. Jablonski is never one to shy away from speaking her heart, and she listens to students all the time and gives them hugs. She may not know your name, but she does make you feel special. Mike Miskella. Michael's dedication to the profession is obvious by observing everyday classes. You never knew what the students were going to be doing, but it involved music, movement, and fun. Whether they were singing, dancing, or learning, or making bird sounds, the students were going to have an educational, fun experience. Pat Ruperto. During Pat Ruperto's time at the high school, she was someone who somehow knew what you needed before you needed it. Whether it was a physical item, a piece of information, emotional support on a bad day, Pat was there. She was an asset to everyone in the building and always made you feel like you were a priority. Eileen Pavlik. On behalf of Lounsbury Hollow, we extend to Eileen Pavlik her fast approaching retirement. The best word that we can think of for Miss Pavlik was passion. She routinely demonstrated her love for music and her love of teaching in all that she did. Ellen Phelan. Ellen was the type of teacher every student wants to have and every teacher wants as a colleague. She had the ability to pull the best out of every child and help them discover and build upon their strengths. Her calm demeanor and sense of humor allowed her students to relax and feel confident in their abilities. Kathy Pisani. Kathy's here. There she is. Kathy says she started at Walnut Ridge in January of 1997. September 2001, she was moved to Rolling Hills. Working with students was what I always loved to do and made many great friendships along the way. I will miss being there tremendously and treasure the happy memories. Congratulations. How's retirement? Yeah, you don't miss that. I asked Kathy, how's retirement? She says, I love it. Joanne Portner. Joanne Portner taught for a total of 30 years, the last 25 in the Vernon Township School District. Over the years, Ms. Portner has consistently demonstrated her passion for the art program in Vernon and brought that passion to the classroom on a daily basis. Whether displaying student artwork at the board office, municipal building, or local post office, Ms. Portner took great pride in seeing her students grow and proud to present each of her 400 plus students with an art portfolio at the end of the school year. Thank you. I don't think Barb is here. Barb Simmons retired last year, and she's an educator who was both collaborative and consistently developed her craft to enrich the lives of her students as an Italian teacher. Rita Sorensen is here. Miss Rita Sorensen is back. Rita and I have worked together for 3 years at Lounsbury Hollow since reconfiguring the district took place in the summer of 2017. She has worked with distinction in grade 4 language arts and social studies and positively and enthusiastically touched the lives of numerous elementary school students in the Vernon district. How's retirement? Sweet. Great seeing you. Sherry Stefkovich. Sherry is finishing off her educational career as a kindergarten teacher, and over the years, Sherry taught many different levels and was always dedicated to her students and always wanted the best for her. And if you've been by her classroom, you knew the laughter was contagious. I know this person's here, Linda Euxen. Miss Euxen taught for 31 years. Where are you, Linda? There she is. Ms. Euxen has always provided a nurturing, risk-free environment for her students, an environment where children experience trust, comfort, and acceptance, an environment where children became eager and excited about learning. Ms. Euxen consistently provided empathetic, non-judgmental listening skills and a warm, caring environment. Linda is a lifelong learner, and she is one of the most pleasant and positive teachers I have ever worked for. And lastly, Peg Warner. Peg Warner has taught for 27 and a half years in the district, teaching music. She's always taken a positive approach with colleagues to help improve music instruction and has always been open to new suggestions and ideas. Peg Warner. Is Mary McKenna here? Okay, and we have Ed Wink and Mary McKenna. Is Ed here? Ed, of course, was door monitor at Lounsbury Hollow, well respected, and a person that we all look to for a smile. Ed was kind and caring, and the first thing that people saw when they came into Lounsbury Hollow. And Mary McKenna, of course, was a star amongst our aides, somebody that always cared for students and, again, always had a smile on their face. So to those retirees, congratulations. Ms. Mitchell is going to join us for retirees from this year. And as we do, I'd like to take a moment, if you will, to honor two people who have passed in the last year. Grace McDonald started in the Vernon Township School District in 1996, first as a part-time aide and transferred to the Child Study Team as a secretary in 2000. Grace was a consummate professional who always gave 110% and great pride in taking care of what she called my people. Her grasp of the special education process was exceptional, to the point where administrators have told her that she would make a great case manager. She is sorely missed by our staff, and I would like to take this moment as I read the next piece to have a moment of silence. Deb Merrill was our director of special ed, and the passing of Deb Merrill was a shock to all of us. While she was only in the Vernon system for a short time, she was beloved by her staff and colleagues in the central office. Her loss was significant for all of us. Deb was kind and caring and had time for all. She was a calm voice at a time when we most needed it, and she was respected by all for her demeanor. Deb's passing was a terrible shock. A moment for those. For our new retirees, we have a little gift. And we gave this gift out last year, but we wanted to, of course, give this gift to everyone. So you're going to get a retirement survival kit. And it's got a balloon in it to celebrate with a bang. It's got a gold leaf because you're worth your weight in gold. It's got love hearts to remind you to follow your heart. It's got a marker because retirement marks the start of a new journey. It has an elastic band. Try to stay flexible in your retirement. A marble to help you replace the ones you've lost at work. Should be a couple this year. Tea bag, which is retirement, is one long tea break. Seeds for the seeds of knowledge you have sown. A starburst for a burst of energy when you need it. A straw to have a drink and let your hair down. Money to help you towards retirement fund. I think it's only a penny. Candle to brighten your future. A toothpick to pick out the best in every day. And confetti because it's time to celebrate your retirement. So let's celebrate with these people. First and foremost, Lounsbury Hollow retiree Debbie Behag. I've had the pleasure of working with Miss Debbie Behag for the past 4 years at Lounsbury Hollow, said the principal. Since that time, the school district reconfiguration took place. Debbie has dedicated 43 years of her professional career working in Vernon Township School District. Ms. Behag recently shared in writing a short while back the following: "My greatest hope is that I've made a difference through my dedication and diligence to the lives of those I have served during my years at Vernon Township High School." Ms. Behag, I have been in your classroom many times, and you have changed their lives. Thank you very much for being here. We have two people who were integral to the high school who are retiring together, and that is Tracy and Scott Berge. Three words that immediately come to mind when you talk about Scott and Tracy Berge and what they have meant to the health and physical education department are professional, dedicated, and commitment. They have always led by example with integrity and have always been willing to guide and to mold our young staff members. They always had our students first in mind and treated them all like they were one of their own. Scott started out as our very first athletic director in school history. He and the athletic training program was instrumental and vital to the student athletes at Vernon Township High School. not only as a great teacher of the advanced PE, but also as a successful stint as a varsity baseball coach. And then, of course, as the president of the VTEA, thus the respect that Scott earned from his colleagues. Tracy was an instrumental part of the Teen Pep program that met with junior level students to build responsibility and accountability discussing human sexuality issues. Both Scott and Tracy have been a key part of the puzzle educating our junior and senior level students at the high school. And this week, Tracy sent me something. This is a clipping from a newspaper from her Teen Pep program in 2007. And when we look, I think it's 2000, when we look at these students and realize that they're 35 and 40 years old, Tracy, and hopefully have families of their own, you know that you made a real mark in their lives. And that's really the key to both of you. You have made a mark in children's lives, and they will never forget you. So congratulations to both of you on your retirement. Christine Bonelli. Where's Chris? Chris said, when I think of a favorite memory of CST, I think about the time we were all in the little house on Route 94. Yes, Chris, the one we sold. We always got together, usually during lunch and sometimes after work, to celebrate the different holidays throughout the year and to honor each other with birthday celebrations. We were like a family. It brings a smile to my face whenever I recall those times. Chris said, I'm not sure that's what you wanted. And I said, that's exactly what we wanted. Mary Grace Brannigan. Mary was a longtime employee in the central office. We worked together as partners in the personnel office. She's an employee who worked hard and cared for all. She's a devoted wife and mom and would love to swap stories about our upbringing and our Irish connection. I wish Mary Grace, the best of luck as she takes care of Lily, another generation of Brannigans in the Vernon school system. Norma Brand. Norma is a caring, dedicated educator who dedicated her entire career to the Vernon Township School District. Her students have consistently learned far more than academics in her classroom because Ms. Brand embedded their personal interests into all of her lessons. Norma has always cared deeply for her students' emotional well-being as well as their academic success. She has been a most valued colleague and one who is always ready and willing to lend a hand whenever needed. Thank you for being such an outstanding teacher leader, Norma. You will be greatly missed. You're welcome. One of our RPOs is retiring. Ken Bolwin was originally hired to work in the Glen Meadow Middle School as our first RPO. He did an outstanding job in both schools, 8 years of service, 4 with Glen Meadow and 4 with the high school. Ken was a Patterson police officer prior and retired after 25 years of service. We will miss hearing his 10-4 responses via the radio every day. Ken Bolwin. The head custodian at Glen Meadow Middle School is retiring, Mike Chastain. Mike Chastain treated the middle school as if it was his second home. He planned, organized, and directed purchasing of supplies and equipment while ensuring the cleanliness of Glen Meadow Middle School. Mr. Chastain worked with the custodial staff to keep them up to date with the latest information. His overriding objective was to have Glen Meadows Middle School look its best while maintaining the safety and cleanliness of the building. Mr. Chastain, you will be truly missed. Marge Cobley. There she is. Marge, Jen Fowler and Sue Nadeau said this: we wish you the best in retirement. Please know that your talent in culinary arts has inspired many students to pursue their dreams of a career in hospitality industry. Your 25 years at Vernon Township High School had meaning for so many young people that indeed it is a legacy to be proud of. Congratulations, Marge. Miss Kathy Davenport. No? For the past 22 years, Kathy's been an extremely dedicated teacher at Glen Meadow Middle School and a member of the physical education department. Miss Davenport has a special way of making students feel loved, appreciated, and important. She is one of the biggest cheerleaders for our students when it comes to being active in our school and encourages her students each and every day. Her friendly smile and approachable manner have always lifted the spirits of Glen Meadow students. John Grimaldi. John Grimaldi was an active teacher in the classroom, constantly working on student engagement and making sure that all individuals were cared for. His deep voice and his amazing height made him a presence in every classroom, and the student engagement in the classroom made him a popular teacher. Steve Den will begin a long-deserved retirement after 25 years of teaching at Vernon Township High School as both the English teacher and librarian. A gregarious raconteur and staff of Vernon will miss his stories and his experiences as he moves into retirement. Mandy Hoffman, an excellent teacher who really reaches those students who need help understanding science. She is always willing to make a quick trip to the grocery store to buy liver, cabbage, gummy bears, wheat germ, and other lab necessities. She planned out roller coaster labs, star labs, dissection of owl pellets, worms, and frogs. Anything to keep her students interested, said Jeanette Emmerich. Mandy is the microscope queen. You could find crazy stuff in pond water like a champ. She was dedicated to making middle school science challenging and fun, whether it was 7th or 8th grade earth science, chemistry, bio, or honors bio. She fought for her special ed kids to be treated fairly and properly placed, and always had a listening ear for students and their troubles. And she has empowered many young women athletes. Mandy has devoted her time and talent above and beyond to both middle school and high school athletics. As a coach, she worked hard to give her girls, quote-unquote, support and special individual recognition. Nothing stops Mandy Hoffman. She will be a champion, no doubt. Welcome. Lori Keller. Dana wrote, "We say goodbye and best of luck to one of our long-standing Vernon aides in the district. Lori has worked for many years in all realms and in almost every building throughout her career, but her longest position was as a preschool aide, and one where she will be missed." Mr. Steve Kepnes was our building administrator for the past 10 years, a completely loyal employee who cared very much for the children of the district. One of his favorite phrases was, "Yes, I think we should do this because it's good for children." Steve loved budget reporting time, where he treated it as a performance, and indeed with his guitar, he retired in style at our BOE meeting last year. Steve was a kind gentleman, and we wish him luck. Ann Larley. Ann Larley has been an integral part of the Vernon Township School District for 20 years. She began her career in Vernon as a full-time aide, working with one of our special needs students. To this day, the students remark that they would not have made it through high school without Ann's dedication and support. Ann's positive attitude, quick wit, will truly be missed by the Vernon Township High School. We wish her the best of luck as she moves on. Peg McDonald. Peg, this is what Mary Ann Longchamp and Kathy Wyant said. Peg is kind-hearted intellectual who always gives all of herself to her students. She loved her classes and always had their best interests at heart. She's passionate about language, literature, and imparted that love to her students. Peg willingly shared her wealth of knowledge with her colleagues and was eager to collaborate through the challenges of a constant changing environment. Her sense of humor and kind-heartedness is something we will miss. Peg, congratulations. Lori Nelson. It takes a big heart to help shape little minds, and the best educators teach from their hearts. A heart that isn't bent on seeking power, status, or recognition for itself. A big heart cares for the needs of the weak and the small. Maybe that's why not everyone is called to be a teacher or can be compared to Lori Nelson. Lori is selfless. She's always put the needs of her colleagues and students above her own. Her love for math was evident whether she was teaching her students or coaching her coworkers. She went out of her way to help others and is one of the kindest, most genuine people ever. Lori always looks for the positive in others and brings out the best qualities in her students. There is not a thing she wouldn't do for someone in the Vernon Township family or her community. Over the years, she has become one of the most valued and respected employees in the district. She is simply irreplaceable. Yes, thank you. Linda Hinton. Where is she? When you go into Cedar Mountain, you meet Linda Hinton. You're never the same. She is one of a kind. Linda is responsible. She is organized, and she takes care of all of the folks at Cedar Mountain. She has been with us forever, and we are going to miss her truly. The one thing that I will say about Linda Hinton is when you knew Linda Hinton, you knew everything about where everything went and where everything goes and what you're supposed to do and how it's done. And I truly appreciate the fact that that organizational skill has saved us many, many times. Mrs. Hinton, we're going to miss you very much. Our principal at Cedar Mountain is also retiring, Miss Edwina Piszczak. Miss Edwina Piszczak has been an administrator with us since she first joined the Vernon staff. She's been central office employee, assistant principal, and principal in our district. She is loved by her staff for her generous spirit and her sense of humor. Also her sign making, obviously. She loves to celebrate with her folks, and as often this celebration includes food. Edwina has been a constant font of common sense and the type of administrator not to be ruffled by the daily vicissitudes of leadership. Edwina is a proud parent of 2 successful children who are on their way in life, and I know much of her newfound time will be spent following them. I wish her only the best. I love it. Kurt Reinhardt has spent 16 years of service in our district, all at the high school. He started as a part-time employee with Frank Sharkey and quickly transitioned full-time. Prior to that, Kurt was served 30 years as a Montclair police officer. Kurt was professional, he was an expert, and he was a perfect match for the high school because the more hysterical things became, the calmer Kurt was. Kurt, we really appreciate all that you have done for the high school. Miss Kathy Rogers. Miss Rogers has been working for the Vernon School District for 31 years. She has a wonderful, creative, inviting classroom and touched the lives of so many students. Quiet, calm. Her demeanor is one in which keeps things organized. With the pandemic this past year has been a challenging one. However, Ms. Rogers dedicated her time and learned the necessary skills to become a successful virtual and hybrid teacher. Ms. Rogers, wishing you the best of your well-deserved retirement. Congratulations, Kathy. Michelle Roth was a critical lever in the job training of our life skills students at Vernon Township High School. Her collaborative nature was the key to success of the training plans she developed along with the employer, teacher, job coach, and classroom teachers for students in her charge. She ensured they had opportunities to fully explore their career interests. We wish her the best of luck in South Carolina, a place that she will now call home. Janice Schmidt. For the past 35 years, Janice has been dedicated, passionate, innovative teacher at Glen Meadow Middle School. Quiet, calming presence that make those in her care feel welcome and safe. Her classroom is a breath of fresh air with creative student work, decorating the walls, and the sound of exciting engagement filling the space. Classroom management has shown to be extremely effective, and she builds positive relationships with her students and sets high expectations for their learning. She has striven to make sure that what's passed along to her students is the love of books and poetry and prose. When it comes to collaboration, Janice is always willing to share her ideas and thoughts, making her a team player in the language arts department. Janice was selected by Congressman Josh Gottheimer as a hometown hero for her years of organizing the Red Cross blood drives in Glen Meadow. She spends countless hours working alongside her students at these blood drive events, teaching her students about service to the community and how to make a difference. Janice, you will be missed, and we appreciate everything you have done for Glen Meadow Middle School. Karen Stokel is also retiring. A fantastic teacher as well as an admired administrator, Karen did it all. She was an extraordinary special education teacher whose care for our children was legendary. She was a first-rate administrator, not only as the K-12 LA language supervisor, but later in her career as the pre-K program supervisor. Karen's love of literature led her to a graduate degree from Columbia U with Lucy Calkins and made her a great coordinator for our K-6 literacy program. Karen retired in April, and she's already missed by the people she worked with. Miss Chris Tintle. This is what has been said of Miss Tintle. Miss Tintle's warmth and sensitivity creates the perfect climate for the adolescent learner. She has a quick smile and very reassuring to her students. Miss Tintle has a claim to the Glen Meadow Middle School and also Lounsbury, both places where she worked, that her students were the most important things in her lives. Miss Tintle was transferred later to Lounsbury Hollow, and in the past 4 years that Dennis has worked with her, he said this, that your quick smile, your reputation as an excellent teacher, and your caring and dedication to the profession every day is what made you our outstanding teacher for 2 decades. Congratulations. Jamie Van Gilst. This past winter, Jamie Van Gilst retiring. The timing of her retirement is important for everyone to notice because no transportation coordinator in the Northeast relishes winter, and Jamie was no exception. However, whether it's excruciating early in the morning phone calls about school closures, or late night calls about bus routes, or figuring out everyone's bus stop, really anything with transportation, there was no better than Jamie. She was always on top of everything that had to do with transportation. So if you got a bus to a game, or to school, or got an emergency call about transportation, ran a field trip to anywhere, or just had a question about vans or pickups, you have Jamie to thank. And if you've been a kid in this district for the past 10 to 15 years and you had a snow day, remember to thank Jamie because transportation coordinators always have their thumb on the scale when it comes to deciding a snow day. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Van Gilst. Cheryl Von Salzen. Cheryl Von Salzen is a Vernon lifer. She has been here forever, and her love for children has been obvious every day that she spent in this district. The love manifested itself in classroom visits, late-night conversations with parents, support and therapy sessions with teachers who were under her guidance, and overall a sense of responsibility that didn't finish up at the end of the day or the end of the week. To aides and to teachers who worked for and with her, she was a wealth of knowledge and compassion. To the special ed population, she was a champion for them and their rights. To her colleagues, she was a workhorse who could be counted on. A lot of institutional knowledge about this district will leave with Cheryl, and my hope is she stays in contact with us as she moves into retirement. Linda Vibehall. Linda's here, no? Although at times teachers get lost focusing on teaching standards, administration tests, and grading projects, the most important aspect of teaching to a child is how much the teacher cares. Every child deserves a champion, and Linda Vibehall was that champion. She is an adult who never gave up on them, an adult who consistently demonstrated caring, kindness, empathy, generation, gratitude, and humility. Throughout her years at Vernon Township School District, Linda has always had a calming way about her that magically transcended to her students. She's a true champion who modeled caring, kindness, and empathy. Linda, you will be missed because you cared so much. I would now like to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Ms. Karen Davino.
Thank you, Dr. McKay. We are going to get started with the years of service. This is an exciting awards to present. I have Mr. Sweeney with me, dedicated board member to assist. I'd like to call Mr. Robert Chorney forward. Congratulations, Mr. Chorney, for 40 years of service. He says, I have enjoyed my students over the years for decades. Football chains after school, SATs on Saturday, and the scenic beauty of our campus. I have also enjoyed working with the staff, administration, secretaries, aides, and custodians. One of my fondest memories occurs when my students return to tell me how they are doing in college and how they are doing in their professions. Also, I've been teaching their children. Congratulations, and thank you for your service, Mr. Chorney. Celebrating 35 years of service, Mrs. Rosemary Gephardt. Mrs. Gephardt says, my favorite memory is of all my years working alongside outstanding teachers and in my later years of service as a school leader. I've gotten to see firsthand so many best practice lessons from preschool through 8th grade. Being in classrooms when a light bulb goes off or a teacher reaches a challenging student is awe-inspiring. I've been so lucky to surround myself with greatness in the profession, to observe those whose teaching is not a vocation, but an avocation, a calling. Thank you for your dedication, Mrs. Gephardt. I'd like to call Mrs. Denise DeSilvia for 30 years of service. She says, so many memories, but by far the best ones are when a child calling my name, smiling, running up to me with open arms, wants a hug. I feel so blessed that I had an opportunity to hopefully make a difference in some children's school experiences. I can assure you, you have. Thank you for your service, 30 years. Thank you so much. I don't believe he's here this evening, but Mr. Mike Masella served for 30 years as a music teacher in our district. Dr. McKay honored him before. How about a quick round of applause for Mr. Mike Mascella? Mr. William Foley for 25 years of service. He says, in my second year as varsity girls basketball coach in 2007, we upset Sparta in overtime. It was the program's first win over Sparta since 1978. Thank you, Bill Foley, our athletic director, for 25 years of service. Also at 25 years of service, Miss Kristen Goodenkoff. She says, my favorite memory is being a graduate of VTSD and having the opportunity to work in the district as a teacher, math coach, and an administrator. I've worked with many amazing individuals and never imagined having online learning to be a part of my experience. We were able to conquer this as a team, and I'm fortunate for the dedicated and phenomenal individuals that I work with each day, as well as the wonderful community support. Thank you, Kristen, for 25 years of service. I'd like to recognize Dr. Chris Jensen, also for 25 years of service. Dr. Jensen says, I'm not very good with time, so I can't put a date on it. But I remember quite clearly it occurred very late on a cold winter night in a hospital emergency room. As is a common occurrence for volunteers, I was roused from my warm bed to respond for an EMS call. The nature of the call resulted in the patient being transported to Denville Hospital, which is not one of our common destination hospitals. Upon arrival, we wheeled in our patient, and I approached the emergency room nurse to provide the transfer of care report. Before I even uttered a word, I heard her exclaim, "Mr. Jensen!" Lo and behold, she was a former student of a 7th grade science class. Not only did she proceed to tell me how much she enjoyed my class, but went on to thank me for being the reason she became a nurse. I've never forgotten that moment, as it was the first time I truly understood what Krista McAuliffe meant when she said, "I touch the future, I teach." Thank you, Dr. Jensen. Also, for 25 years of service, I'd like to recognize Mrs. Laura Merck. Miss Merck says, "My favorite memory of my 25 years in Vernon? Wow, that's a hard one. There have been so many wonderful times, so it's hard to hone in on just one. After leaving the classroom 6 years ago to become a school counselor, I left behind me 19 incredible classroom years full of memories. My very last classroom of children will be my new freshman in high school in 2021, which is an exciting thought to ponder. I would say equally as exciting was last year seeing my second graders graduate. It was quite an incredible memory. I look forward to seeing my last group of students to walk the podium in caps and gowns in the future. Thank you for your service, Mrs. Merck." Also, at 25 years, I'd like to recognize Mrs. Jen Moskowitz. She says, "We got those from VTHS when we graduated in 1989. So what I will tell you is that Miss Moskowitz is in a lovely picture of a Vernon Vikings shirt with an 89 on it. And she says, "We are still here today, except as teachers working together." Congratulations and thank you, Miss Moskowitz. Also, for 25 years of service, I'd like to thank and recognize Mrs. Joanne Portner. She says, "On the first day of school this year, September 2019, at Lounsbury Hollow, I was assigned front lobby duty, reminiscent of the 14 years I spent there. Standing there, I saw my former Rolling Hill students arriving. They walked into the building with trepidation. I could see it in their faces. New building, new everything, and then they saw me. The frowns turned into smiles, exchanged. It was like a visual hug, and some physical ones too. I am very grateful to have been embraced by Mr. Mudrick, the Lounsbury Hollow staff, and all of my former students that welcomed me in my last year of public school teaching. Thank you, Mrs. Portner." Also, for 25 years of service, I'd like to recognize Mrs. Laura Ryder. Mrs. Ryder says, "My favorite memory, being childhood best friends and becoming teachers and team teaching together." Congratulations to Mrs. Ryder. She's talking about Mrs. Moskowitz. Thank you for your 25 years of dedication to our school. Also, for 25 years, I'd like to recognize Mrs. Cindy Thomas. She says, "The things I enjoy most about my job teaching kindergarten is greeting the children for the first time at the beginning of the year, guiding them to become learners, and blowing bubbles and waving goodbye to them on the last day of school. Thank you, Mrs. Thomas, for 25 years of dedication." I don't think she's here. She is?
I didn't see her.
I don't see her either. Hold on. My window's blowing all over the place. She might be the next group. I don't think she's here. Years of service. Was she... Which ones did we just do? Moskowitz. Yeah, I don't think she's here. Did I say her though? It doesn't say which year. Do we know what year? How many years of service? All right. Let me save. Do you see her?
No, she's not here.
Okay, right. Okay. All right. Okay. Did I do this? Okay. Sorry. We're going to continue with years of service. for the 2021 school year. As you know, the wind in Vernon is something to contend with, and it is not letting us down this evening, so my apologies. For years of service in 2021, as you know, there are landmark years, 40 years, 35 years, 25 years, etc. Achieving 35 years of service in 2021 is first Renee Kepfinger. Renee says, even though I cannot be there in person, I still have a special memory. One was when I helped Maureen O'Rourke, Eric Villanueva, and a group of very creative students design a mural out of bottle caps. It was truly an amazing experience from start to finish, one which I will never forget and had an incredible time being a part of. Congratulations and thank you, Renee Kepfinger. 35 years of service, we'd like to recognize Janice Schmidt. Mrs. Schmidt says, my first memory of Vernon is my most important. As a new graduate of William Patterson College, I put in applications for teaching positions in the Wayne area, obviously before they were William Patterson University, where I lived. Over the next weeks, I heard nothing. And by August, I was resigned to the fact that I would spend another year subbing and waitressing. Mid-August, I received a call from a secretary in Vernon asking if I would come to Lounsbury Hollow Middle School to interview for a job as a 6th grade reading teacher. Of course, my response was yes. But after that, my very first question was, where is Vernon? That phone call changed my life, of course, because it was that school that I learned how to be a strong educator. I met people there who I continue to call friends, and I met a gym teacher who would later become an administrator and my husband. I moved to Vernon, raised my children here, and thrived as a teacher. After 37 years in the district, I believe that yes was one of the most important words I've ever spoken. At this time, I'd like to ask Ms. Jennifer Pellet to come forward and honor those recipients with 25 years in the district. Except my apologies, I think I skipped my 30-year recipients. Shame on me. So I'd like to honor Linda Hinton, who came up earlier, who's retiring. Congratulations, Linda. Linda, we have a special treat. This was actually written by somebody very special to you. She says, in everyone's life, there is undoubtedly one person who somehow impacts your life in so many ways that it changes who you are as an individual. Fortunately, that someone for me is my mother-in-law, Linda Hinton. I am lucky enough to call her family, but also have the pleasure of calling her a friend and a coworker, much like many individuals here within the Vernon Township School District. Linda exemplifies dedication, loyalty, hard work, and reliability. She started her career off here in Vernon as an aide, helping out in the classroom. Now, many years later, she provides support and guidance to the staff and students of Cedar Mountain Primary School. She's been a constant force that I truly believe everyone here in the district has come to know, love, and rely on. She's ultimately our go-to person. With over 30 plus years here, she's a part of the district that many will miss tremendously. While we hate to see her leave, we are all very excited for her next chapter. No matter what role she takes on, whether it be an aide or secretary, mom or nana, Linda takes on the role wholeheartedly, giving her all to it. Our district is truly lucky to have been able to have given Linda for as many years as it did. Congratulations on your retirement, Linda, from your daughter-in-law, Ashley Hinton. The next recipient for the 30-year recognition is Tom Palmisano. He says, I do have a favorite memory here at Lounsbury. For those of you who remember, this is when Dr. McKay was the principal of Lounsbury Hollow, and we set his office on the roof of Lounsbury Hollow School. He spent the day up there, and that was so that when the students achieved a certain number of minutes reading, he agreed with the students that he would put his desk on the roof. And Tom Palmisano reminds us of that memory. Congratulations and thank you, Tom, for 30 years of service. For 25 years of service, we asked Tracy Berge what her memory is. And Tracy says, thank you. Not sure where 25 years or 31 years went, but I guess we are here. So many great memories, but I would have to say that the 10 years spent teaching Teen Pep were by far not only my greatest memories, but my greatest achievement. It was one of the greatest programs in health education the state ever provided. The fact that we were the only school in Sussex County to have adopted it put us heads above many schools in teaching human sexuality, which has been my passion for 25 years here. I still have a connection with many students who have long graduated and will share with me that it was one of the greatest classes they ever experienced at VTHS. Thank you, Tracy. Also, for 25 years of service, we'd like to recognize Chris Spinelli. Chris says, when I think of a favorite memory of the child study team, I think about the time we were all in the little house on Route 94, reminiscent of what Dr. McKay said earlier. She said we always got together during lunch, sometimes after work, to celebrate different holidays. Obviously, they were like a family, and we are so grateful and thankful for your dedication to our district. Thank you, Chris. Also, for 25 years of service, I'd like to recognize Diane Kletzes. Diane says, I'm not sure if this qualifies as a specific memory, but more of feelings. Learning and feeling excited and overwhelmed that I would be working with specific teachers when I first started in second grade. These were teachers that I had as a student who I loved and adored, such as Nancy Doran, Linda Everett, Grace Carroll, Debbie Zweier, and Connie Boxmeyer. They were amazing teachers. I learned to read from Nancy and Linda in first and second grade, and then learning that I would be teaching next to them as a colleague and a contemporary. I learned the foundations of language arts from them as a child, and then they taught me the foundations of being a teacher. I could not have asked for better examples of loving, compassionate, dedicated teachers who put their students first and foremost. They were gold stars of education, and I was lucky to have them as teachers in my early years and to work and learn beside them as an educator in my later years. Thank you, Diane, for 25 years of service. Next to 25 years of service is Mary Ellen Cleary. She says, after 25 years of teaching middle school in the district, there are so many wonderful memories, but it is the relationship with my colleagues that stand out the most. The friendships that have been forged are lifelong and unbreakable. Perhaps it's the camaraderie that comes from being in the trenches together, all working towards a common good. Even though many of my original tribe have retired, Glen Meadow remains the same, where there is always a helping hand and welcoming smile. We are a family, and I am forever grateful. I'd also like to recognize Mr. Den, who's not here this evening, for 25 years of service. I'd like to recognize Jeff DeYoung for 25 years of service. Thank you, Mr. DeYoung, for all of your dedicated hard work and technology and all the other subjects you've taught for us over the years. Thank you so much. The next person for 25 years of service works in the central office beside me. Her name is Ruth Gagliostro. Mrs. Gagliostro. She says, I can't believe it has really been 25 years. It feels like yesterday that I was an aide in our schools. I believe time has stood still because I love my job. She really likes working with the superintendent and working with great people. I'm just kidding, Ruth. No matter how stressful days can be, there's always something to laugh about. That's the kind of camaraderie there is here in Vernon. But my biggest joys have had to be with the students. Seeing them in the halls when I was in the schools or when they would come to visit our office was really special to me. Thank you, Ruth, for all of your dedication. Next up for 25 years of service is John Getz. Mr. Getz says he was thinking about his favorite many, and there have been so many joyful times. But thinking about what he cherishes most is the impact and connection he's been lucky to make with his students. For instance, he mentions that a student came to high school freshman year, and in the first day she said she was stupid and couldn't do math. But we got her to try, and she did well. When she came back as a junior, she said she didn't understand Algebra 2 yet. It is for all of these students and their algebras that they can't do that I love doing what I do. I know that isn't an amusing anecdote, but the students I have gotten to know are my favorite memory. Congratulations and thank you to Mr. Getz for his dedication to our students. Thank you, John. Also being recognized for 25 years of service tonight is Suzanne Kozlowski. Suzanne says, it was the beginning of my career teaching kindergarten in Vernon. While I was doing an individual assessment, I had asked a student if he knew how to tie his shoes. He had Velcro sneakers on at the time. He quickly responded no. I complimented him on his nice sneakers and proceeded to ask him if he'd been practices tying other shoes he had at home. He quickly responded no. I remember talking to him about getting older and needing to know how to tie his shoes, and that someday he too may have children to tie shoes for. He quickly responded again with a big smile, lifted his foot and pointed to his Velcro sneakers and replied, "No, I don't. I'm going to buy them these." I can still see his face as if it were yesterday and remember the laughter and joy that small moment brought me. Thank you so much for sharing that memory. Congratulations, Mrs. Kozlowski. Although not here this evening, but would like to recognize and thank for 25 years of service, James Saganek, one of our high school teachers who has dedicated his life not only to our students in the classroom, but also as a coach. Thank you, Mr. Saganek. Also not present this evening, Joanne Cisco from Glen Meadow Middle School with 25 years of service. Thank you, Joanne, for your dedicated years of service. And rounding out our years of service at 25 years for the year 2021 is Kim Smarth Meissner. Miss Meissner says, there are too many memories to count, so here are a few. It was the beginning of my career teaching kindergarten in Vernon. While I was doing an individual assessment, oh, excuse me, I'm reading the wrong one. I'm so sorry. She says, I will forever be grateful for the opportunity to co-teach with Mrs. Behag and to share in the camaraderie of serving Vernon students. At times we became a comedy act, Laverne and Shirley-like, which would actually serve to engage students. Mrs. Behag and I would be known to use a British accent from time to time when teaching the Revolutionary War or to create ships out of classroom tables to throw boxes of tea overboard at the Boston Tea Party. In this profession, we are fortunate to work with dedicated colleagues, but more importantly, we are blessed with the friendships that carry us through the years. I wish Miss Behag, my co-teacher and friend, a wonderful and well-deserved retirement. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to call up Miss Luthner for the next portion of awards. There are 3 educators that I would like to recognize this evening as the 2019 New Jersey Exemplary Educators. The goals of this program are to identify outstanding educators for special recognition. They exhibit strong knowledge and skills, an inspiring presence, and a positive impact on students, colleagues, the school community. The nominees must also have a rating of effective or highly effective on his or her most recent final summative evaluation. 2019 New Jersey Exemplary Educators are Kelsey Falkowski, Stella Foco, and Tara Holderith. The next person is going to be recognized for the Presidential Award for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching. This is bestowed by the United States government specifically for K-12 science, technology, engineering, mathematics, or computer science teaching. This award recognizes that those teachers have both deep content knowledge of the subjects they teach and the ability to motivate and enable students to be successful in those areas. The award for the Presidential Award for Excellence in Math and Science Teaching goes to Ms. Shannon Jenkins. Also not present this evening, we'd like to congratulate and recognize Mr. Ben Joseph, Glen Meadow Middle School technology teacher, who this year taught a live lesson to 3rd graders on NJTV's Learning Live program. Congratulations and thank you, Mr. Joseph. We'd also like to congratulate Mrs. Virginia Vanderbeck. Miss Vanderbeck is a Cedar Mountain preschool teacher and who is a winner of the Spring 2021 mini grant She won $490 to purchase Second Step Early Learning Classroom Kit, and this was through the Association of Supervision and Curriculum Development. Congratulations, Ms. Vanderbeck. The next two recognitions go to two Board of Education members. Neither one are present, but I would like to recognize and mention the dedication of Mr. Mark Chili and Mr. Brad Sparta. Thank you for your service. We are going to have two performances, musical selections by our jazz band, and then we will move on to the student achievement portion of our program. Mr. Taylor? Thank you, Mr. Taylor and the Jazz Express. I'd like to call up Mr. Vincent Gagliastro for the Seal of Biliteracy 1920 and 2021. I'd also like to ask Mr. Zimmerman to co-present. You have the list, right?
Good evening. The Seal of Biliteracy is a program that was started 3 years ago by Mr. Nick Demsack and has continued on, and we've had over 20 students over the 3 years qualify for their seals. In order to qualify for the Seal of Biliteracy, you needed to demonstrate proficiency in English and meet high school graduation requirements, and take a state assessment and attain a proficiency score of intermediate mid in the language that you're getting your seal in. Essentially, the students are biliterate after they qualify for the seal. Tonight we'll be honoring 2 years, the 1920 students and the 2021 students who received their Seal of Biliteracy. Starting with 1920, Fernando Cova Gomez. Stephanie DeMathis. Patrick Fligg. Leticia Noah. Vasilisa Palace. Kaylee Simeon. Hannah Van Blarkum. And Raymond Villafuerte. If any of those students are here, you can come up and get your certificate. Congratulations. For our 2021 Seal of Biliteracy students, Mr. Charlie Smaglia will be coming up to present the awards. And our first student is Austin Felixbrod. Our next student is Tessa Height. Our next student, Carolina Jamilkoska. And our last student, Julian Porras Arcos. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gagliostro. At this time, we'd like to introduce one of our Student Choice Awards. This is a new award that we started this year. I'd like to thank Ms. Mitchell for thinking about this for our students. And Mr. Smaglia is going to help co-present, but Mrs. Piszczak is going to present the Cedar Mountain School Student Choice Award. Mrs. Piszczak.
At Cedar Mountain, we did it a little differently. We took cups and put the teachers' pictures on them. And then everybody got a piece of paper and they put them in the cups. So the one that had by far the most votes was Mr. Anthony Hernandez, our PE teacher. He moved from Lounsbury to Cedar Mountain. It's his second year, and he fully embraced the age change. And when they asking kids what they thought of Mr. Hernandez, he's fun. He lets us run. He lets us play. Did I say he was fun? He smiles a lot. He makes us do exercises. I can't say enough about Mr. Hernandez. He does a fantastic job at Cedar Mountain, and the field day that we just had, or field days, was phenomenal. Thank you for everything you do at Cedar Mountain, Mr. Hernandez. I want a hug.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize and thank our military students. Unfortunately, he could not be here, but from the 1920 school year, joining the Navy was Juan Batista. For the 2021 school year, I believe he is here, Nicholas Delia for the Army. Also for this year, for the Army, Sarah Fritsch, Shane Lyden, Cedric Medina, and Blake Morton. Also this year, going to the Air Force, Cyrus Twirlinger, Hunter Voss, and to the Marines, Gavin Washman. Thank you in advance for your service to our country. We're very proud of your commitment to our community and to the United States and the military. Thank you. I'd like to ask Ms. Mitchell to come forward and assist with the next set of awards. Thank you. Next, we'd like to recognize the Scope Magazine winner, Maureen Lovett. Mr. Shea can make his way. Oh. Did we lose our... Oh, no, you can still hear me? Good. Mr. Shea, come on down. You're going to present our Esports Rocket League. Just as you arrived.
Good evening. First, I just wanted to give a big thanks to Coach Vetrano, who could not be here tonight. He was our brave coach for our inaugural season of the esports team. And I also want to give a thanks to the Board of Education for supporting this endeavor and supporting that kids love video games and can be good at it. And also Dr. Anderson and the administration at the high school for also supporting us. If you're wondering, Mr. Shea, what is esports? What are you even talking about? Just to give you an example of how popular esports is, for the 2019 Super Bowl, 100 million viewers watched the Super Bowl. For the 2019 League of Legends Finals, 100 million people watched the 2019 League of Legends Finals. So esports is a big thing, and our high school students were very excited to participate this year. And so, again, this was our inaugural season. One thing I just wanted to say about the club is that we have both casual players as well as competitive players. And it didn't matter whether our casual players and competitive players were male or female, 9th or 12th grade, no matter their ethnicity, even if they had a disability, everyone could participate. And there was one thing that was for sure, there was one thing that united our members, that they all love video games. So at the VTHS Esports Club, everyone belongs. I'll make the selfish plug. For more on our esports club, go to vtsd.com/esports. All right, so our competitive team is here tonight, so I'm so excited. So this was our Rocket League team that, again, participated in the inaugural season in the Electronic Gaming Federation. Our group went in the spring season 4 wins and 3 losses, which let them advance on to the spring playoffs. We finished 17th out of 64 teams, so for our first year, I feel pretty good about that. We're excited to bringing all of these students back next year. This Thursday, we play 3 matches in the Electronic Gaming Federation National Finals, so wish our team luck. First up here in 10th grade with 1 goal and 6 assists, his gamer tag, and by the way, that not only do they have their regular name on their jerseys, they have their gamer tag because that's a thing. So I2S Hyper, Daniel Hayes, come on up. Go ahead and hang out there. Yeah, just stay in the center for the team. In 9th grade, she designed our logo, which I am wearing. She had 2 goals, an assist, and a save. Her gamer tag, EmmaFran02, Emma Frenetovich. In 10th grade, with 7 goals, 5 assists, Showtime 35. He was so good they named a type of goal after him, the Showtime, Mason Sherhall. And in 11th grade, our team captain, if anyone's been watching any esports, you've probably heard of this person. This past weekend, he participated in the Electronic Gaming Federation National All-Stars games, and they were the grand finals winners. The East Coast team won the whole thing. And so with 37 goals in the regular season, 5 assists, 14 saves, Cridex789, Chris Meischner, ladies and gentlemen. So that's our team. Be on the lookout for our fall season. It promises to be an exciting one. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Shea. Ms. Mitchell, you can stay here. Dr. McKay is coming back to recognize the School Choice Award from Rolling Hills Primary School.
School Choice Award, Rolling Hills Primary School, presented by Logan Bursick. Here comes Logan. Thank you, Mr. D, for joining Logan.
Hi, my name is Logan. I'm in 2nd grade. The School Choice Awards go to Mr. Villegas.
Yeah, Mr. Villegas. I'll hold that. Yep.
Mr. V is awesome because he makes all these games I never heard of. He makes us healthy and strong. He is also my friend. Mr. V is caring to everyone. Thank you, Mr. V.
Great job, Logan. Great job. Congratulations, Darren. The VTHS Spring Boys volleyball team for the 5th year in a row has received the USMS AVCA Honor record-breaking 1,313 teams for academic excellence. Mr. Jeff DeYoung is the varsity coach. Mr. Matt Sorensen is the assistant coach. I would like to congratulate both of them. This matters a great deal. Congratulations to Gia Federici, who was honored at the Sussex County Community College on June 1st as the recipient of the 8th grade Caring Award for Glen Meadow Middle School. Sponsored by the Sussex County Counselors Association, Gina was honored along with 19 other deserving Sussex County Middle School students. Gina is known for her wonderful smile and her kindness and caring. Good job, Gia. Congratulations, Gia. Congratulations to 6th grade student Matthew Celentano, who has won the annual VFW Patriots Pen Essay Contest. Great job, Matthew. He wrote about what patriotism means to him. Matthew is in Miss Krause's and Miss Sisko's social studies class. Congratulations, Matthew. There were 14 area high schools and 5 middle schools who participated in the Walkill Invitation Art Show. There was judges from the Montserrat College of Art, Savannah College of Art and Design, William Patterson University, Peters Valley School of Craft. Melody Buccieri from Glen Meadow received a 3rd place for her 3D sensory garden mushrooms. Is Melody here? Oh. William Toll, a senior at Vernon Township High School, won 3rd place in the photography category. And Patience Heavy, a senior at Vernon Township High School, received a merit scholarship for $20,000 a year from Montserrat College of Art, which totals $80,000 for 4 years. Patience is an Art 4 AP Art major and is also on the girls wrestling team. Congratulations to William, Melody, and Patience. The School Choice Award for Lounsbury Hollow will be presented by Lucas Crutchfeld. Lucas. There he is. Okay, my man, I got the mic.
Hi, I'm Lucas, and I'm in 5th grade. The winner of the award was Mr. Hilbert. Mr. Hilbert is a funny teacher who does fun workouts like an Among Us Olympic workout and an Among Us baseball workout. Mr. Hilbert will turn something boring into something fun. An example would be he turned our practice drill into a contest. Mr. Hilbert is very friendly by making people smile and laugh every day.
New Jersey TSA State Conference. We competed in 3 categories with the following results, and of course, this is the student organization for technology. In optical engineering, Mason Freifelder, Morgan Freifelder, Michael Chang, Julian Porras, and Joseph Santiago finished 1st in the state of New Jersey. Yeah, optical engineering. In the computer, oh, here they come. Here comes the team. Nice. Great job, men. In the computer-aided design and engineering, in 2nd place were these 2 young men who are both freshmen, 2nd place in the state of New Jersey, Jack Foco and Nick Decker. Honorable mention in engineering design, Matthew Catania, Austin Felix Broad, Maverick Brenly, and Nazir Domena. Congratulations. And congratulations to Melanie Buccieri, Susan Mentone, Olivia Schmidt, whose artwork was displayed at the virtual Hispanic Heritage Month, Novartis, sponsored the art show and contest on October 28, 2020, under the direction of Mrs. Lisa Herkler. The students submitted the artwork, and congratulations to them. And now Ms. Davino with the Student Choice Award.
Thank you. Our Caitlin Jensen,
Congratulations.
Mason Hillman, and Katie Wood here to present the Glen Meadow Middle School Student Choice Award.
My English teacher. My English teacher, Mrs. Basso, has really made an impact on me this year through all the things that she has talked to the class about. She gave off an energy that showed her job wasn't just teaching us CLA skills, but one that showed she was trying to make us get the most out of our lives. She never gave up on a student and always was positive, even though it must have been hard running a classroom this year. She really made my school year one to remember, and I want to thank her for that. She's taught many students, and I'm really lucky to be one of them. Thank you, Ms. Basso.
So well said. The next award at Glen Meadow Middle School, Caitlin Jensen is going to make the first remarks, and then Katie Wood will make the second remarks. Caitlin Jensen.
Mrs. Holderith was one of the best teachers I've had, not just this year, but overall. She taught math in a way I and many other kids learned best. She and I bonded and talked over subjects we both enjoyed, including psychology and strategic games. And whenever I got a wrong answer, she would explain why it was wrong, and that helped me overcome my fear of failure. She even checked up on me when I looked like I was struggling. And that, among thousands of other reasons, is why I thank her as a teacher, and I enjoyed being her student this year.
Hi. So, I know that a lot of people, they can say that a certain teacher was one of their favorite teachers over the year. But this year, and I mean, I've known Miss Holdreth for not many years, but I've known her, and now I know her a lot more, and I'm so grateful for that. But I can say without a doubt that she is literally my favorite teacher of all time, at least from what I've seen. She's inspired me and taught me how to be passionate and has overall just been a friend. Before I started in her class, I didn't have any self-confidence in math and in life. But when I met Miss Holdreth, something just clicked. When I walked in her room for the first time at the beginning of the year, I felt like I had been there before or something of that nature, but I knew that I hadn't. She's helped me learn and she's helped me grow and learn things I didn't think that I could learn. And not to mention, her teaching ethic is probably the best I've seen. She always finds a way to make learning fun and surprisingly enjoyable. She makes sure that she's available and accessible, and she never treats anyone differently. She will always be a part of me, and I will never forget our time together. I'm actually very sad to be leaving her class, and that's saying something coming from me. I know she's going to help so many kids after me, and I know that she's helped so many kids before me. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for a great year, Miss Holdreth.
Thank you. Excellent job, everyone. Congratulations, Mrs. Basso, Ms. Holdreth, and thank you so much to Caitlin, Katie, and Mason for your presentation. Due to the pandemic, there were no county, area, region, or all-state students this year for music, but I'd like to ask the following students to come forward. Anne Marie Kazor, Wesley Sanders, Caitlin Witters, Kelly Witters, and Lee Rose Hart. I'd just like to recognize that the Arts Ed New Jersey organization ran a solo submission contest. We had 5 students submit solos for adjudication. Anne Marie Kazor on trombone, Wesley Sanders on tuba, Caitlin Witters on bassoon, Kelly Witters on oboe, and Lee Rose Hart on French horn. Congratulations. 3 of our students were selected to move on to the second round and were asked to submit an additional solo piece for adjudication. They were Wesley Sanders, Anne Marie Kazor, and Lee Rose Hart. Also, 2 of our students successfully auditioned and were accepted to high school region jazz band. That was Wesley Sanders and Alex McCann. I'd like to ask Dr. McKay to come forward.
I would like to ask Mr. Sweeney to join me. This year's 20th annual What's Your Anti-Drug Contest had over 400 entries representing 24 schools in Sussex County. All the entries were wonderful, and the judges had a tough job of selecting 55 winning entries. The winners from both Lounsbury Hollow and Glen Meadow are Leilana Appleby, Mia Bressler, Nick DeVeri, Adrian Kovacs, Alicia Kovacs, Danielle Getz, and Jayla Rodriguez. Congratulations, folks. I would ask that Logan Peak please come up and give the School Choice Award for Vernon Township High School. Logan. How you doing, champ?
Yeah. Hello, and thank you for staying. My name is Logan Peak, and this year I took part in one of the hardest classes you can take at VTHS. Every year you hear horror stories about how hard AP Biology is. Yet in the same breath, you hear how amazing the teacher is. Miss Foco is an absolute bundle of energy, enthusiasm, and songs. She loves singing her bio songs. But even with this trying year, as I'm sure most of you are aware of, she was still able to prepare us extremely well for our AP test at the end of the year. She has sacrificed so much for us to prepare us for this test. Tears, sleep, and lots of money for goodies and sweets to stuff ourselves with during class. She wouldn't have it any other way, because that's just the kind of teacher she is. Over my many years in Vernon, I have had the pleasure of being in some of the best teachers' classes, yet somehow Miss Foco was the icing on the top. As one of my peers said, she has made it fun to learn again. It really has been an amazing year, even with all that has happened. And to anyone who is going to take AP Biology in the future, it is 100% worth the pain of the class just to get Miss Foco as a teacher. So it is my pleasure to announce that the VTHS Students' Choice Award goes to the one and only Miss Foco.
Great job, Logan. Nicely done. And now Miss Davino.
Okay. Okay, Logan said it best. Thank you for staying. We're going to get to the end of our program for service awards. And of course, we'd like to congratulate Celia Sagebon from 6th grade and Melody Bucheri from 8th grade for having their poster selected by the New Jersey Health Department. 3 for Me vaccine program contest are Celia and Melody here to be recognized. We'd also like to recognize Miss Herkler, art teacher, and Miss Ash. This was a cross-curricular project. They collaborated with students who participated in the poster contest. Congratulations, Celia. Hi, Miss Ash. Thank you. Okay. I'd like to call Mr. Smaglia back up. We'd like to recognize the following teachers for supporting their students in the Glen Meadow Middle School Green Team Plastic Film Annual Collection Contest. Miss Janice Vaslovic, Miss Cleary, Mrs. Basso, and Mr. Reimer. Okay. Second place winners were Mr. Myron, Miss Hoffman's and Schmidt's homerooms, and Miss Kaiser's homeroom. There's a few people here. Under Service Awards, we'd now like to recognize our Eagle Scouts. Boy Scout Yorgo Liaros with Troop 912 completed his Eagle Scout project at Glen Meadow Middle School. Yorgo rebuilt the retaining wall garden bed and designed a new garden. The new wall and garden helps brighten and makes the front entrance of the school welcoming and inviting. Congratulations and thank you. We'd also like to congratulate Michael Chang, 12th grader, who just completed his Eagle Scout project. Michael is part of Troop 912 and the Patriots Path Council. Michael constructed 4 wooden benches to be placed at the front entrance of Vernon Township High School. He did a beautiful job. Thank you for your contribution, Michael Chang. Thank you, Michael. We'd like to recognize Mrs. Weinrab and Mrs. Kennerson. From Lounsbury Hollow School, they worked on the Trex Recycling Challenge. They placed 11th out of 50 elementary schools. 1,000 schools competed nationwide, and we are very proud of their efforts. Lounsbury Hollow School collected 371 pounds of plastic. Congratulations and thank you. Great job. Would also like to recognize Mark Bray and Tricia Kosfeld for coordinating the Viking Wall of Heroes. Students of our Viking Success Academy, Austin Carter, Michael Hallaton, Hayden Imbarado, Tanasha Williams, and Louis Cologne created a beautiful space to honor Vernon graduates who went on to serve our nation's military. Special thanks also goes out to our hospitality program coordinator by VTHS teacher Jen Fowler. Students served nearly 100 guests successfully. Congratulations and thank you for the contributions to the Wall of Honor. We'd also like to congratulate and thank Coach Myron and the baseball team, not only for their big win this season, but for their volunteerism. This is under student service. 32 of his student athletes cleaned up leaves in yards in town this season. We're so proud for the inspiration that he gives our students as their coach. Thank you, Coach Myron. And although I don't believe he is here this evening, we'd like to recognize and thank Senior David McNaught, who played the trumpet for the Memorial Day ceremony in Vernon. Thank you, David, for your contributions. Dr. McKay.
Justin, would you please join me? There are 3 dedicated professionals that earned their doctorate degree this past year, and it's time to honor them as well. I want to congratulate Dr. Marta Yafar Werman for, that's it, our district Spanish teacher on earning her Ed.D. degree, education at Seton Hall University. She successfully defended her dissertation, which was titled An Analysis of Mentoring Program in Northern New Jersey. Marta, we're very proud of you. Congratulations. Dr. Werman. This is great. Congratulations to Dr. Halish Shep. District science teacher on earning her PhD in curriculum and instruction, specializing in STEM education from Texas Tech University. She successfully defended her dissertation, which was titled Tweet, You're It, exploring K-12 science teachers' use of Twitter to support professional growth and NGSS implementation. Congratulations, Doctor. Finally, he's not here, but congratulations to Dr. Adam Kendler, Supervisor of Special Services, on earning his Psych D degree from Fairleigh Dickinson University. He successfully defended his dissertation, which was titled Analysis of Categorical Proficiency for 3rd through 8th grade students on the 2014 NJ Ask and the 2015 End of the Year Park Assessments. Congratulations. Congratulations to two of our teachers who recently secured their Level 2 Wilson certification, Helene Revelant and Pam Weber. Congratulations. These folks are leaders in our district in so many ways, and now they are official dyslexia therapists. Congratulations, Helene.
Congratulations.
All right, and now we're going to do some shout-outs to finish up.
All right, let's finish this. Okay. Let me find my special thanks section. Okay.
I can start.
I got it. Sorry.
That's okay.
So just a quick thank you to everyone. We had so many wonderful people to recognize this evening. I'd like to recognize the Meister Singers, our middle school chorus from 7th grade, our high school Jazz Express, Glen Meadow Jazz Quartet, who played earlier on in the evening. Special thank you to Doug Miller for creating the artwork on invitations. Thank you to Aaron Kites, Nazir, Demena, Jack Foco, Tyler, Anthony, Zach, Kristen, Caitlin, and Ketchel. They're all in a class together. They put together a wonderful recognition slideshow that was showing over on the BenQ boards when you first came in. We'd also like to thank the members of our Junior National Honor Society that passed out tonight's programs. We'd like to thank our maintenance and high school custodians for all of their hard work. And thank you to Maureen Remner and Jen Fowler. Maureen of Sodexo and Jen Fowler and her 2021 culinary students for the light snacks and water that are provided. Thank you, everyone. I know this evening went on quite a bit longer than we anticipated, and everybody's a little chilly at this point. So I know I'm the only person standing between the conclusion of our ceremony and some refreshments and baked goods prepared for us by Sudoku, so therefore I'll be brief. When I started to think about all of the things so many people lost this year due to COVID, the one thing that stood out to me was the opportunity to celebrate and recognize the people who make the Vernon Township School District so outstanding. As a relative newcomer, being here only 3 years, I was always impressed with both annual celebrations such as Teacher of the Year recognition, as well as the way we recognize and celebrated our monthly Board of Education meetings. In fact, it is one of the things that I miss the most and the inspiration for tonight's program. Usually we recognize students, staff, or retirees at our monthly Board of Education meetings. Having them present reminds myself and my fellow board members about all of the wonderful things happening in our district every day. I am hoping that tonight's capstone celebration is an important milestone for so many. For some of you, it is the gratitude and recognition that you deserved a year or more ago. For others, it is the opportunity to be reminded of all that we've accomplished as a community in the last 15 months. Even during a global pandemic, there are wonderful successes in the Vernon Township School District. Whether you were recognized tonight or participated in recognizing someone, your contributions matter. Each of us sitting in this stadium to come here tonight and celebrate. Celebrate we did. Here are a few final words before we get to some delicious refreshments. First, I'd like to thank Dr. McKay. Through his dedication and support, was able to pull this wonderful ceremony together. I'd also be remiss if I didn't thank Mrs. Gagliastro, my administrative assistant, and Mrs. Smith, administrative assistant to the business administrator. They did lots of behind-the-scenes work to accomplish this evening's events, including flowers and balloons, programs, sending of invitations, and a million other details. I also need to thank Mr. Jim Conti and our high school custodial staff. With the changes in the governor's restrictions based on COVID safety and the rain we had earlier in the week, they were extremely flexible, and for that I'm grateful. As a final comment, I have the privilege of pursuing my doctorate in educational leadership from the University of Pennsylvania, thanks to the support of the Vernon Township Board of Education. One of my colleagues at UPenn says, "We measure what we treasure." Let tonight be an example of what Vernon should always take great pride in, the measuring and treasuring of student achievement, faculty, and staff success, and the beauty of what we can do as an educational community when we collaborate and put the needs of our students first above all else. As this is the conclusion of our ceremony, but it is still a formal Board of Education meeting, Mr. Nunziata, Board President, I'd like for us to close the meeting at this time. Okay. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening and have some snacks on your way out. I was told we weren't doing that. I was told we weren't doing it.